we're going to take a minute to look specifically at negation and how negation signs can be pushed around. Well, we've been talking about equivalences a lot, and now it's time to talk about substitution. So suppose we have two sentences, P, which equals A and B, and Q, which equals B and A. These two are equivalent for reasons we'll discuss in just a minute. Now suppose that we have a substitution S for P and a substitution S for Q. Well, these will be also equivalent. Here's an example. Suppose that we have a sentence like C or A and B. So the A and B here is just equivalent to P. And if we want to, we can give a substitution of P for Q. This sentence here is Q. And these two will be logical equivalents. Substitution is a very important thing in logic, and it'll become very important later on, and it'll become very important if you take more advanced logic. But right now we're just going to take a look at the way that negation works. The key concept here is negation normal form. In negation normal form, all the occurrences of the negation sign apply directly to atomic sentences. These are sentences, recall, which combine a predicate with a term, and which we've been representing with sentence letters like A and B. So in negation normal form, the negation sign will apply only to atomic sentences like A and B, and not to bigger propositions like A and B. Here's how we get to negation normal form. We push the negation through. So to take this example of not A and B, we can push the negation between the parentheses so that it applies to A and to B. And whenever negation goes past an and symbol, it flips it upside down, and likewise for or. So this and becomes or. And this, recall, is just one of the De Morgan equivalences that we've been seeing so much of. So remember, when you push the negation through, the and or symbols get flipped. And turns into or turns into and. In a minute we'll consider a more complicated example, but first we have to see some rules. The first two are the associativity rules for and or. And this just says that P and Q and R without parentheses is the same as parenthetical P and Q, close parentheses, and R, and that's equivalent with P and parenthetical Q and R. And the same is true for or. If you like, you can pause the video now and take a minute to think about why this is. Next up are the commutativity rules for and or. And these just say that P and Q is equivalent with Q and P or Q is equivalent with Q or P. And I think it's pretty easy to see why these work. It's raining and the ground is wet just says the same thing as the ground is wet and it's raining, at least logically. But if you think back to the troublesome word but, you'll see that there's definitely a difference here that just gets left out of FOL. You owe me money, but I'm going to help you says something very different from I'm going to help you, but you owe me money. But these are the kind of shades of meaning that we leave out. And I only bring them up just to say, if you think that there's something a little bit odd or something being left out here, you're not wrong, but again, it's just not part of the logic. Last up is idempotence. And this just tells us that P and P is the same as P, and P or P is the same as P. I think this one's pretty straightforward. Now let's look at a sentence we can simplify using these rules and the rules for pushing negation through plus double negation. This looks like a real doozy, but we can work through bit by bit. Let's start with this part here. We can push the negation through so that we get not B and not A. Notice then that we get two negations on our sentence letters because we had one negation to start with, and the negation gets pushed through and added on. And that the or symbol flips by a rule for pushing negation through. Now by double negation, this simplifies to B and A and B. But notice that by commutativity, this is equivalent with B and A and B, and that by idempotence, this is just equivalent with B and A. I'm going to number these just to make it clearer. We go from B and A and B by commutativity to B and A and B, and then from this line, we go down to B and A by idempotence. So this whole thing simplifies to B and A. Now we can drop the or here straight down. And likewise, we can drop the C straight down. Notice now that we have A and B or C or B and A. By commutativity, A and B is just the same as B and A. So this is our rule 3 that takes us here. And by idempotence, B and A or C or B and A is just equivalent with C or B and A. or if you prefer, B and A or C. So we get here by Rule 5 again. And that's it. This whole sentence, A and B or C, or not, parenthetical not B, or not A, close parenthesis, and B, up here is just the same as this much simpler sentence down here. And each line on this chain is equivalent with the line that comes before it. And with that, we've wrapped up week 5. As always, let me know if you have any questions, and I'll just wait to hear from you.